Honestly, ever since I've started making these videos on the best Pokemon in each generation, I have been really excited to talk about Generation 3. Although it's not my favorite generation of Pokemon games, I personally feel that the Hoenn region has a lot of my favorite Pokemon in it. Now, sure, like in most generations, there are some obvious eyesores for Pokemon, but generally speaking, I think most of the Generation 3 Pokemon are close to top-notch designs. So today, I decided to narrow down all of the 135 Hoenn Pokemon and give you guys a list of my top 5 best Generation 3 Pokemon. Again, like I've said in my previous best generation videos, the word best doesn't necessarily mean amazing in battle. There are plenty of different variables I factor into what makes a Pokemon the best in my eyes, whether it be design, origin, sentimental value, and yes, maybe even a bit of battling too. So with all of that in mind, if you guys want to see a Generation 4 video as soon as possible, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. And before we start, honorable mentions go to Glalie, Absol, Flygon, Breloom, Aggron, Milotic, Ludicolo, and Walrein. These are all amazing Pokemon, but again, it's my favorite generation in terms of Pokemon, and only 5 slots to fill, so you gotta understand here. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And with that being said, let's get started. Wow, I cannot tell you enough how hard it was to narrow down this list of Pokemon because again, there are so many amazingly well-designed Pokemon in this region. But with the number 5 spot on this list, I had to give it to one of the laziest and strongest non-legendary Pokemon in the games, Slaking. From first glance, this Pokemon just kinda looks like a Snorlax ripoff, but if you give this thing a chance, it's so much more than that. First off, let's backtrack a bit and talk about its pre-evolution being Slackoth. When I first ran into this Pokemon in Petalburg Woods, I thought, hey, finally something other than a Wurmple, and also, oh my god, this thing is so cute, I have to have it. I just love its snout and its whole tired persona because it just reminds me a lot of, well, me. Not the snout part, just the tired part. And as I leveled up this Pokemon, I was then introduced to Vigoroth. Now, while I didn't like that it dropped the whole tired stigma, I still think Vigoroth is a very cool Pokemon. It was decently strong at the time, had a cool design, and had access to some pretty strong moves. But man, when I finally got myself a Slaking, I was blown away at how awesome this thing was. I mean, just look at it. It's like the ogre from God of War. You just don't want to mess with that thing. Now, while I do love me some Snorlax, a big problem I had with its design was the fact that it was a bit too cute, and just wished it was a bit more intimidating. Slaking, to me, fixes that problem entirely. And to further back that intimidating look, it's also got some godly stats. I mean, look at it. These are better base stat totals than even pseudo-legendary Pokemon. And in the move department, it's no slouch either, having access to literally every powerful move you can think of. But of course, when talking about Slaking, you also have to mention its competitive killing ability, Truant. While this ability is on the level of Slow Start, it's still a very fun Pokemon to use in-game, which at the end of the day is how I fell in love with this Pokemon in the first place. Plus, if you skill swap in doubles competitively, you can still do some things too. Not much, but you can still do something. All in all, while Slaking may be a bit of a disappointment to some people because of the whole ability thing, I will always cherish this Pokemon because of the fun times I had in-game. Now, while this next Pokemon got even better after Generation 6 introduced Fairy types, I gotta say, I loved Gardevoir so much even before it became good competitively. Yes, while Gardevoir doesn't really fit the mold of manly, intimidating, badass Pokemon that I usually like, there's always something just really interesting about this Pokemon. To start off, Ralts is one of the most weird and at the same time very interesting designs. Its appearance seems to be slightly based on that of a young child, following the theory that young children can sense feelings easier and more thoroughly than adults. From then on, its design goes into a more feminine look with Cerulean and later on Gardevoir, but these designs look amazing in their own right. Especially Gardevoir, whose design origin is very interesting. Its exaggerated head with minimal facial expressions and an overall frail, featureless physique could be attributed to the Ansama Ningyu, a style of traditional Japanese paper doll. Not to mention though, it also has a fantastic shiny. Now, like I said in the beginning, Gardevoir in Gen 3 wasn't the greatest Pokemon battle-wise, but it wasn't bad either. Base 125 special attack combined with good defenses and comparable speed, at least in-game wise, is no slouch. But like Slacking, I love this Pokemon because of the adventures I had with it in-game. Ever since I first picked up a copy of a Hoenn game, I always had a Gardevoir on my team, and again, I don't know why, it's just an interesting Pokemon. Out of all of the starter trios to have come by in the Pokemon franchise, by far the most difficult ones to choose from had to be from the Hoenn region. Trico, Mudkip, and Torchic were all amazing Pokemon in their own special way, but if I had to choose between the three, Blaziken would always be my #1 go-to. Again, Swampert and Sceptile are very awesome Pokemon, but Blaziken is just on another level for me. First, let's take a look at the best feature about this Pokemon, which has to of course be its battling capabilities. Regular Blaziken with Blaze is pretty mediocre, even though it's got 120 attack and 110 defense, but if you can get speed boost though, that changes everything. But you guys should already know that by now, because people have talked to death about how broken this Pokemon is because of it. I mean, it's one of the few starter Pokemon that doesn't even need a Mega Evolution to be OP, and it got one anyways, just making it even more broken. But that's not the only reason why I love this Pokemon. For me, it's purely design-wise why I love this Pokemon so much. I mean, a fighting chicken, that's freaking awesome. Blaziken has many bases of origins, but my two favorite ones has to be the cockfighting chicken, because it's a cockfighting chicken, and the Horus and Ra, two anthropomorphic ancient Egyptian deities with hawk heads. And for me personally, I've just been a much bigger fan of the fire-type Pokemon starters, especially leading up to this generation of Pokemon. So picking up the fire type of the Hoenn region was a pretty safe bet for me. So at the end of the day, it's got everything I want in a Pokemon. Many different interesting origins, a great design, and it's OP as hell in battle. What's not to love about this thing? Not only is this next Pokemon one of my favorites to ever grace the Hoenn region, it's one of my favorite Pokemon in general. Coming in at the #2 spot, we have the rogue Pokemon Crawdon. What can I really say about this thing? There's a lot to talk about, but I guess it's probably smart that I start from the beginning. Yes, like the other three Pokemon that I've talked about on this list, Crawdon 2 is a Pokemon I used in my very first playthrough in the Hoenn region, so for that alone, it has a lot of sentimental value. But unlike the other three Pokemon, Crawdon didn't really stick out to me at first, and I actually regretted picking it up at the time, when I saw other amazing water-type Pokemon like Sharpedo. It was actually not until Gen 6 of all regions that I finally saw Crawdon for the amazing Pokemon that it is. Through Wonder Trade, I was given a competitive ready Crawdon, which I then took on to a free-for-all with some loser named, I think it was like some guy named Mystic Umbreon, I'm not sure. But the point was, I destroyed everyone with the thing, and I even made my good old pal Mystic rage like the 11-year-old child that he is. Honestly, that memory sticks with me as one of my favorite Pokemon moments. Yeah, I know, it's pretty sad. And when I said this thing destroyed everything, I mean it destroyed everything. Focus Sash or Life Orb, Adaptability, and either Dragon Dance or Swords Dance, and this thing kicks ass, I'm telling you. Sure, its stats aren't to die for, but its good ability, typing, and moveset keeps this Pokemon afloat in the UU tier. And although people may chalk up Crawdon's origin to it just being based on a lobster, it's actually much more than that. Firstly, Crawdon is not based on a lobster, but rather a red swamp crawfish, which looks really freaking weird if I'm gonna be honest, but pretty cool at the same time. But the more interesting part about Crawdon's origin has to be its shell. Crawdon's shell could possibly be based on the Bastion mimicry, which basically is kind of a defense mechanism for harmless species like, I don't know, a crawfish, where they are built to resemble a dangerous and intimidating species to ward off their predators. This could be in association with Sharpedo, as it resembles an open shark's mouth with a star on the nose. If this is true, man, how cool is that for an origin? In all honesty, if I didn't include legendary Pokemon on this list, this Pokemon would no doubt be the top pick, but unfortunately, there's one more Pokemon that I feel is slightly better. And finally, the number one best Pokemon that I feel is from the Hoenn region has to be... well, it's kind of a cop-out. The number one spot goes to all of the legendary Pokemon. If I can speak candidly for a second, I really couldn't pick from all of these amazing legendary Pokemon. They're all just so awesome in their own special way. Normally, I would pick Rayquaza in this situation, as it is in my top 2 favorite legendary Pokemon, but I also really want to talk about all the other legendary Pokemon. The Regis have a very cool origin being based on golems and a method of finding them, having to decipher Braille in order to find them. Then there's also Latios and Latias, who are in one of the most emotional movies in the Pokemon franchise and have an amazing origin in their own right. And finally, of course, we have the amazing legendary trio of Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza. Kyogre being, of course, on the cover of my very first Pokemon game that I owned, Groudon just looking like an absolute monster, and Rayquaza just being one of my favorite Pokemon, period. Even the mythicals of this region are near perfect designs. I don't know what else I can say here. And of course, since they're all legendary Pokemon, they're all going to be amazing in battle in their own specific ways, and of course also have some amazing origins too. So as you can tell, it was really hard to narrow it down, so you have to understand the cop-out here. All in all, if I had to choose which region had the best legendary Pokemon in it, it would no doubt have to be the Hoenn region, which is why I decided to put all of them on this list. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and become an Eryizo today. Also, if you did like this kind of video and want to see more on the other generations, be sure to let me know in the comments section below. If you want to check out the previous video I did, be sure to click the annotation on the left. If you want to see more Pokemon Let's Go videos, click the other annotation on the right. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.